We're excited. It's a little bit of excitement and nerves, to be honest. Just a new school, new friends, new teachers. He's excited, or so he says now. I don't know.
Being first grade, you're the big boy now, going to school by yourself, but he's ready. He's excited.
Did the summer feel shorter to you?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it definitely felt a little shorter, but we had a lot of fun.
I'm hoping that we have nothing happening in the schools this year, but it's going to take everybody's work.
Ready or not, here it is, a brand new school year. Tens of thousands of students all across the Carolinas getting a new chance to learn, grow, and make connections that can last a lifetime.
And it's sure to be one kids, teachers, and parents are likely to never forget. Hello, and welcome to our Back to School special on Carolina's own Queen City News. I'm Ann Wyatt Little.
And I'm Jason Harper. For the next 30 minutes, we go both inside the classroom and into our local communities to bring you the kinds of unique and informative stories Queen City News brings you every single day, all about school. Now, the backbone of every school has always been the teachers. Without them, kids wouldn't learn anything.
The biggest district in our area, Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools, has had its history with struggling to keep teachers in the classroom and paid. And now those vacancy issues are even extending to the ones who take those kids to school.
District leaders say they're trying to deal with hundreds of teacher vacancies and dozens of bus driver openings. But school leaders say they're still optimistic as the district is in a better position than last year.
We have been working all summer to fill as many roles as we can.
No, we don't have enough staff to keep up with the needs that there are, and it is more expensive to pay for contracted services. Even with that, our contracted services are even stressed to hire and find qualified people.
It's not an issue CMS is dealing with all alone, though. National school data shows thousands of vacancies all across the country for both teachers and drivers.
Amidst these struggles, the district is turning to new leadership for this new school year. This will be Dr. Crystal Hill's first year as superintendent for a district that is not exactly known for stability in the position. After more than a year of shuffling interims, board members appointed Hill to permanently lead the district this past summer. And it's a responsibility she's not taking lightly.
Scaling down on some things that haven't been successful, but then really being hyper-focused on what we need to do to achieve our goals. So I believe that students should have a 4-year plan when they get into high school. And if you don't have a plan, then you'll just find yourself taking classes that are out of sequence, that don't really make sense. That's when they're not engaged because it's not what they're interested in.
Dr. Hill's contract lasts until June of 2027. Her salary is $300,000 a year. She's also the first Black woman to be named superintendent of the district.
Union County Public Schools harbor the second largest student body in our area, and with that comes its own challenges. Ahead of the start of the school year, I had the chance to sit down with Dr. Andrew Houlihan, the superintendent of the district, to get his outlook for another year on the job. What does gearing up for a new school year, what does that look like for you and your department?
A lot. So, we're the 6th largest district in the state. We have over 42,000 kids about to return, 5,000 employees. It's a lot of moving parts. In fact, I've had many a friend who say, gosh, you're so lucky that you get a summer break. You don't have to do anything. And I tell folks we work just as hard, if not harder, during the summer months as we do during the school year, because it's all about preparing for the next school year. As soon as our kids walk across that stage in June to graduate, literally those next weeks, we're ramping up efforts to get ready for August. So everything from running our transportation routes, hiring is obviously a big issue right now. With a bus driver shortage, a teacher shortage. That's a national narrative you're seeing and hearing across the U.S. Safety is an all-time issue. We do a lot of work during the summer with our partners like law enforcement, mental health providers to really gear up for that for when kids come back. And then everything with professional development, curriculum and instruction, and then new employee orientation. So the work doesn't stop. It actually gets very quick and very fast during the summer months.
How do you try to reassure families and parents that their kids, no matter what age, that they're safe while they're here?
Yeah, so first of all, we understand that we can only control what we can control. And What happens in the buildings, during the school day is what we can control. And so we take a lot of effort and pride into the training that our staff receives. Every year they go through multiple different kinds of training, lockdown, safety and security training, active shooter drills. We have a phenomenal relationship with law enforcement, and just recently we've expanded our SROs. This time next year, we'll have hopefully one dedicated SRO at every elementary school. I believe we'll be the largest school system for sure in the region that would have a dedicated one-to-one SRO program. And so we're really excited about those things and about those efforts. But we understand that, listen, as a father, same applies to me. The guarantee we make to families is your children have to receive a high quality education in a safe environment. And that's the promise that we aim to keep every single day with our families and with our kids. Safety is the #1 priority, but not just physical safety, also the emotional and mental safety aspects.
If you wanted to say something to the parents and families out there, what would you say to them?
#1, thank you for choosing our great school system. We cannot wait to see your children on Monday. We're very, very excited and have worked really hard during the summer to gear up for August 28th. So thank you for choosing us. Thank you for trusting us with your children. And #2, we're going to make sure that when your children are with us, they're well taken care of, they're in a safe environment, they're receiving a high quality academic and non-academic experience, as we talked about, that is focused on that whole child. And #3, partner with us. As we go through the school year, there will be challenges. Be patient these first couple of weeks as we try to work the kinks out in the system, but really partner with us. Our parents have done a great job in the past of really working with us on multiple different issues, and we look forward to carrying that relationship through this year.
Well, if you're looking at the calendar and wondering where the summer went, you're not alone. Some students in area districts are returning to the classroom earlier than normal, and it's been causing a back and forth between lawmakers in North Carolina's capital. Members of the State House of Representatives have been voting on a series of bills to give school districts options on when to start and end their school years. Current law says schools cannot start any earlier than the Monday closest to August 26th. But some districts have been able to skirt that rule.
A lot of school districts are kind of doing their own thing in some ways, and so you have this sort of detente of what's happening. I guess it's one more example of job security for legislators, right? Issues that remain unresolved.
I think the local systems that are ignoring state law are setting a really bad example for students.
So for now, it's a clash over the classroom with no resolution. One of those early starters is Cabarrus County Schools, who went back August 8th. Queen City News anchor Robin Kennedy explains whether they're actually breaking the law here.
North Carolina leaders don't seem to be willing to do anything about the school districts breaking the law. And we found out the law itself doesn't have any enforcement power.
What are some things that you do to manage that?
Teachers don't just teach, they learn too.
All of these sessions are geared towards what we can do to be better educators in the classroom.
Every year, Cabarrus County teachers go back to class before their students, so their summer doesn't last as long.
I went on a great vacation this summer.
That's me.
This year, teachers and students had the shortest summer ever. That's what you did this summer, is mostly train the puppy, right?
Yeah, we're trying, but it's very hard because he's very active. He goes crazy.
What's his name?
Angus.
No matter the memories,
I caught a big fish in my summer fishing trip, and I sent them all a picture to let them know what I was doing.
They got sandwiched in between the start of a new school calendar. We did the math, first looking at the summer of 2022 for Cabarrus County schools. It was 80 days long, counting weekends, compared with this past summer. It was only 62 days long. That's 18 fewer days of summer. Did the summer feel shorter to you?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it definitely felt a little shorter, but we had a lot of fun.
Cabarrus County and some other districts in our area are switching to a new calendar to more closely line up with the district's early colleges and to get in exams for high school students before winter break.
What's best for kids is to have the natural split. Semester ends, go home for the break, come back, we start the new semester.
Getting out before Memorial Day.
It was like June 1st hint, and there was a mental switch that was like, I should not be in school, I am done.
The new calendar also has 3rd through 5th graders taking their end of grade test before the long Memorial Day weekend and not having to return until August.
People are hot, they're tired, they're ready to be out for summer. So I think that it makes more sense from that perspective.
But state law says school districts in North Carolina can't start before the end of August.
I'm curious to know how the counties are able to disregard that state law.
We wanted to know too, and whether school districts face any penalties for breaking the law. The attorney for the State Board of Education says the state board does not have a written policy or procedure or administrative rule that would address what action it can or may take if a local school district does not comply with state calendar laws. The calendar law itself does not provide for any sanction, and the State Board and Department of Public Instruction are therefore limited in their enforcement authority and ability to address this issue.
What are you thinking about going back to school?
Like, I really want to see my friends and learn Spanish again.
No matter when school starts, the number of days in the classroom all adds up.
We're all excited about the calendar change.
We believe wholeheartedly that it's best for students.
Lawmakers in the state house want districts to make their own choices, but the state Senate wants the school calendar left the way it is. So it doesn't seem they'll pass any legislation to make any changes to the law. Even though the law doesn't have any real consequences, school districts can be sued. That's what happened in Union County and why leaders there decided not to start school early this year. Robin Kennedy, Queen City News.
Still ahead on this back to school special, you've heard of food deserts, but now one Charlotte organization is looking to tackle book deserts.
Plus, how is local law enforcement planning to keep guns and violence out of the hallways? Mecklenburg County's sheriff is weighing in what he says parents can do to get involved.
My mom actually asked me this question the other day. She said, "Do you think people are retaining it less?" And I replied to her, "I don't think people are learning it in the first place."
Is it a tool to help students learn or a way to help them cheat? We speak to the AI experts on whether these chat bots are ruining education as we know it.
All those stories and more, you're watching Carolina's own Queen City News.
Our back to school special continues right after the break.
Some of the deadliest mass shootings carried out in the past 5 years alone have been in the halls of schools. Parkland, Uvalde, Nashville, and countless other incidents have taken the lives of both teacher and student. In Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools, a major problem for years has been guns making their way into the hallways. Now the number of firearms found did decrease dramatically last school year after school officials put in metal detectors and increased their security. Mecklenburg County Sheriff Gary McFadden says he's requiring his deputies to spend at least 15 minutes on each campus per day, as well as attend all after-school events. But his office says they need help, and he says it starts in each child's home.
We don't need any violence in our school this year. I wish that we don't have one gun producing the school, and I'm hoping that we have nothing happening in the schools this year, but it's going to take everybody's work. Parents need to interact with the kids a little bit more, to know when they're involved into a confrontation in the school, know when there's a problem, and get involved with it early. Don't let it linger.
It's not just in CMS either. All 13 elementary schools in the Lincoln County school system will have school resource officers assigned there 5 days a week.
More than 60,000 children in the Charlotte area live in a book desert. That's considered a home with few, if any, books at home. The Charlotte Area Book Bank is working to remove literacy barriers and ensure every child is successful.
It is absolute pure joy to see a child connect with a book.
Kelly Cates wants every child to have access to books. She's the deputy director of Promising Pages, the Charlotte Area Book Bank.
We collect new and donated books, and we redistribute them to kids who can't afford books and who don't have books in their homes.
More than 60,000 Charlotte area kids live in a book desert. Areas in red show homes where children have access to less than 10 age-appropriate books. If students aren't reading on grade level by the 3rd grade, they're 4 times more likely to drop out of high school. The pandemic did not help improve scores. Reading proficiency dropped for CMS 3rd graders by 20% over 2 years.
You need to practice. You need parents and caregivers reading with you, as much as they can. And when you don't have books in your home, you're missing out on all those literacy opportunities.
As students go back to school, Kate says it takes the community to help.
Parents at home working with children and encouraging a love of stories and reading. It takes nonprofit organizations coming together to help support those parents and help support the classrooms.
Over the summer, the nonprofit gifted more than 100,000 books through various programs, book buses, and summer camps. But many of the bins are bare, so the need for more books is great. Kate's and her small team will keep working to remove literacy barriers and increase book access.
Might have just set them on a path of lifelong learning and reading if they find that one book that really motivates them.
Now, Kate says try to incorporate reading as much as you can and let kids choose their own books. That way they're likely to finish them. If you'd like to learn how to support their efforts or donate books your children have loved already, this story will be up at QCnews.com.
Artificial intelligence has now seeped its way into the classroom, sometimes into those very works of literature. We take a look at why some educators actually welcome chatbots into their courses. We'll be right back.
Each new school year presents new challenges that educators have to prepare for.
However, as Queen City News anchor Julian Sidor tells us, one of the challenges this year is even more difficult because it can teach itself.
Back in the day, if you needed extra help in school, maybe you hired a tutor. Those who wanted to try to game the system maybe tried to search Google for the answers. But in the past year, artificial intelligence has become a one-stop shop for all of that. And now school districts like Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools are figuring out how to navigate the future in a world with AI. If you ask ChatGPT if artificial intelligence should be allowed in schools, the chatbot won't tell you yes or no, but instead help you weigh both the positive and negative factors. Exactly what educators across the country have been doing as they set their policies for the new school year.
It has just accelerated exponentially fast.
Although they've had the summer to game plan, ChatGPT and AI are kind of like the Wild West, the popular platform only gaining mainstream attention less than a year ago. For now, Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools are not allowing it on school devices for teachers or students, but higher-ups are plenty aware of how AI can help with education and aren't discouraging its use.
It holds much promise for individualizing and actually providing a personalized tutor kind of experience for a child where they can go deep on a subject that they're grappling with and trying to understand.
As most students will tell you, though, just like a superhero's powers, they can be used for good or for evil.
Do you think there are kids who are using ChatGPT to cheat?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, without a doubt?
Without a doubt.
Laksha Ramkumar is a senior in the CMS district. She says this past spring, she saw classmates use a chatbot to pass classes they otherwise would have failed.
Like, you can fully not understand how to do something and show proficiency in it.
But to those who cheat, Ramkumar also says beware, proving to us that although it's rare, AI isn't always right. The 17-year-old who just passed Calculus 3 this summer, asking it to solve a math formula. And after she checked the math,
that's wrong.
She also warns of something the chatbot itself brought up when we asked it about if it should be allowed in schools, that it could cause students to rely on it too much, hurting their ability to actually learn the material.
My mom actually asked me this question the other day. She said, "Do you think people are retaining it less?" And I replied to her, "I don't think people are learning it in the first place."
Despite that, Ramkumar isn't against AI. In fact, quite the opposite. She says all students should learn to use it because it's part of the future, something CMS officials agree on. But if you won't take their word for it, well, just ask ChatGPT yourself.
Absolutely. AI, artificial intelligence, is a significant part of the future and is already playing a crucial role in shaping various aspects of our lives.
Another word to the wise, Ram Kumar says she's seen teachers catch students who have used AI like ChatGPT to cheat. There's also detection software out there that reportedly can tell if students have used AI to complete an assignment. CMS isn't using the software yet, but haven't ruled out its use in the future. Julian Tador, Queen City News.
Be careful what you post this back-to-school season. Coming up after the break, why officials are warning parents about those seemingly harmless first-day pictures. We'll be right back.
Since the rise of social media, feeds have been flooded around back-to-school time with pictures of kids holding these. But before you comment on just how cute your friends' pictures are, you may want to tell them to take the post down.
Now, police across the country are warning parents these kinds of pictures can actually endanger your child. The chalkboard trend that includes your child's age, school, teacher, and interests could be a way for scammers to get to you or your child's information. Potential predators often look at these photos for clues, giving them something to talk about with the student.
But there are still ways that you can capture that special moment without revealing too much information. Avoid revealing anything like school buses that include bus numbers, front door or front porch pictures that show house numbers, school uniforms with school logos, or informational signs that show your child's name, age, teacher, or school. Just something to keep in mind for that special first day back to school.
And that's going to do it for our Back to School special. To see all those stories and for more coverage as the year goes on, be sure to visit QCnews.com.
Listen, have a great school year, everyone, and good luck.
Thank you.